What's going on? This is Coach Marcus for Pro Fan Talk. Game recognized game. Came out in the news today that Barry Sanders sent a signed jersey to Saquon Barkley because Saquon is approaching that 2,000 yards. And it's just kind of his way of giving him his flowers. And that's huge because if you know anything about Barry Sanders, very humble dude, one of the greatest to ever do it, if not the greatest to ever do it. But you don't really hear much from him. When he does stuff like this, usually it's kind of on the side and the cut and very quiet. Barry Sanders has got to be one of the most unassuming, humble, Hall of Fame players out there. So for them to get a hold of this and, you know, him not being upset for them making noise about this, and rightfully so, because Saquon has been that dude. Saquon is not braggadocious. He doesn't talk a lot of shit. He just gets out there and does what he needs to do. Now, transitioning into today's news on Good Morning Football, Jamie Erdahl was asking the question: Is Saquon? He is 300 yards away. Can he get it done these last 3 games? Or if we get everything locked up and get that 1 seed locked up, are we going to, put him on the sidelines, save him? And Peter Schrager was kind of like, he kind of showed you what he was when he had the opportunity to get his single game high, and he said, let the young guys eat. You know what I mean? So that kind of showed his character. And I'm with Schrager, are we going to get the opportunity to see him make that mark? I don't think we are, unless he just destroys Washington. Possibly, but I don't think that they're going to do anything stupid. So let's hear what they said on Good Morning Football, and then I'll be back.
Table, Peter, and finishing the season with a 13-game win streak.
The Saquon rushing record thing is kind of tainted to me. It sounds so ridiculous. Like, he might do it, but Dickerson did it in 14 games. So I'm like looking at him like, it matters. Like, it would be great, and it's his, and like he can't control that. But like, the hay was already in the barn for Eric Dickerson. He'd already done it by now. So like for me, that's not even important. To me, it's almost more impressive if they win 13 in a row and they end in the playoffs as the home seed, because I know right now it's like the tiebreaker. We have to see how these guys do in the division with the Lions and the Eagles. But for the Eagles to be coming in as the hottest team in football entering the playoffs, well, that would likely mean the 1 seed and home field advantage. And I'll be honest, Jamie, I don't think Saquon and I don't think the Eagles are focused on his individual records. I think that's the goal right now. As cliche as it sounds, I feel like Saquon told us what he was all about when he was on the sidelines, and they were like, do you want to go back in and get the record against the Giants? And he's like, no, let the young guys eat.
100%. That's not Saquon's MO. That's not who he is. That's not what he's about. So I agree with Schrager 100% that I don't think if it push comes to shove and you got a decision to make, but everything's locked up and we don't have nothing to worry about, I don't think Saquon's going to do that. And he's right about the Eric Dickerson point. Eric Dickerson did it in 14 games. Now, it was a different world back then. Schedules were different. They didn't play as many games, which makes it that much more impressive what Eric Dickerson did back then in that brand of football where people could knock your head off and get away with it. So now they got all these rules that try to keep everybody safe and this, that, and the other. And it's still hard to do. And plus, running backs were valued a lot more back then. Everybody wasn't throwing the ball all over the place all the time. Now it's a different game. Now you got 30 to 40 passes per game where you didn't have that back in the day. So I can see arguments for both sides, but I agree 100%. Eric Dickerson did it in 14 games, and it was absolutely incredible. So for Saquon to do what he's doing, there's a reason why you don't see too many running backs do it in this day and age. So you got to put that into consideration and put that into context as well. So, but I agree. I don't think Saquon is going to try to push the issue. You know what I mean? He's not going to try to get out of there. He don't need a signing bonus or some incentive in the contract, although it's probably in there. He ain't worried about it. He's worried about the big prize. And let's not forget, this will probably be the first time in Saquon's career he's going to the playoffs, let alone a number 1 seed, or hell, even a number 2 seed. So he's going to savor this opportunity and try to make the most of it. Because as you all know, ain't no telling when you'll get there again. Ask the Detroit Lions. Look at the situation they're going through right now, because you have to stay healthy. You got to stay healthy. So I think we're in a good spot. I think Saquon is going to put his best foot forward for these next 2 games. And then by then, we should know whether we are locked up or not. If we win out, I'm not sure if it's a situation where we have to win out to be the number 1 seed. I think it depends more on what happens with Detroit and what happens with Minnesota. So, but we still, I think we still need to win, and then maybe they need to lose a game or something like that. So, but I don't think we can lose any ground, and we get conference opponents for these next 3 weeks, so we got to take care of business. So I think he'll have the opportunity, and unless we smashing somebody 32-0, I'm expecting him to be in the game. So, but at the end of the day, the most important thing is for Saquon to stay healthy as we get to the playoffs. That's the most important thing. So yeah, let's not put anything on risk. Let's run the offense the way it's supposed to be run. I think Saquon should still get his 20 carries a game. And Jalen, if he can continue to pass the ball like he did last week, we got something to do. We got something to see. And as far as this week goes, I got to look at some more film about Washington. But, you know, everybody gets in this bubble. And I understand from the Washington side. I heard the sound clip from Brian Robinson talking about the last time we played, and you know, all the meat that they left on the bone and the mistakes that they made, and they got to play better. And I understand he thinks he's the better team. That's fine. But don't think we in a snapshot and we the same team that you faced the last time, because we've gotten better too. The defense has gotten better since then. And our offense is finally clicking. So don't think that the Eagles have just been standing pat and everybody's exactly in the same place the last time you saw us. Not so. We have gotten better. Offense has gotten better. Saquon's gotten better. Defense has just went through the roof, and they continue to click and get better every game. So as far as this weekend, I have no issue with the Eagles going over into Washington and handling business, and I think that's exactly what is going to happen.